morning. I was supposed to do a different video today, but I woke up feeling like absolute trash. So my throat hurts. I feel like I have a cold. So I think I'm just gonna do a reading vlog for you today and just share with you what I'm reading. The three books I have for you today are The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, The Villa by Rachel Hawkins, and The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. So I'm just gonna make some avocado toast while I tell you about this book. I'm reading The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. Two of the books in this video are by Rachel Hawkins, so I guess I'm a fan at this point. I do really like her writing. This one is called The Wife Upstairs, and it's set in a kind of small town suburban gated community. Our main character, Jane, is a dog walker in the community, and through word of mouth, she's been walking dogs for most people in the neighborhood. I feel like avocados are only ripe for like 1 single second. One day they are completely hard as a rock, and then the next day they're completely brown. This one does not look great. I don't know if I'm gonna eat that or not. I might just have an egg and toast today. So Jane's been walking dogs for people in the community, and she steals from them. I think she just kind of likes the thrill of taking things she thinks they won't miss. Maybe it's the adrenaline of it, and I think she also pawns some of the stuff to help supplement her income. So she's not the best person in the world. Jane's a fun main character. She's kind of crazy, but I fell in love with her within like the first couple chapters. She's crazy in a good way. So Jane's really down on her luck. She's living in a dingy apartment with a roommate she hates. Rachel Hawkins seems to enjoy writing characters who are have a little bit of low self-esteem for various reasons. They're down on their luck and kind of at a low point in life. But this book is never scary, so I would classify it more as a mystery than a thriller. This is Julie with Mysteries and Mountains. Thank you for stopping by today. I just want to read you the first paragraph of this book because it's a pretty good one. It is the absolute shittiest day for a walk. Rain has been pouring down all morning, making my drive from Center Point out here to Mountain Brook a nightmare. Soaking the hem of my jeans as I get out of the car in the Reed's driveway, making my sneakers squelch on the marble floors of the foyer. Foyer or foyer? I'm not sure. But anyway, I feel like this first paragraph just transports you there. You're in Jane's shoes. You really feel what it's like to be a dog walker on a shitty rainy day. This is so good. So one day while Jane's out walking the dog, she meets Eddie, a recently divorced resident of the neighborhood. His wife was killed in a boating accident with her best friend, and their bodies were never found. So already we're thinking this is kind of sketch. Jane is drawn to Eddie because he's rich, hot, and seemingly broken, which is what all characters in these mysteries seem to want, right? Jane's a pretty fun main character, to be honest. She's pretty flawed, as we've already seen, but I started to love her within the first couple of chapters, and she's a trip. So this book is told from a couple of different points of view, but Jane's point of view is definitely central. You can tell there's a main character. You don't feel like the book's all over the place. There's a ton of intrigue and some fun and really engaging characters. There are a couple people you love to hate and you don't know who to trust. The plot gets pretty twisty and turny toward the end. I would highly recommend this book. I gave this one a 4 because I had a great time reading it, but the plot was figure-outable and most of the characters besides Jane were just okay. I highly recommend. And look at this cover. Isn't this the prettiest cover? Just the colors are beautiful. And apparently Rachel Hawkins is a New York Times bestselling author. Anyway, I loved it. Highly recommend. 444. I'm feeling so much better today, so I thought I'd take you out for a hike and tell you about my next book, The Villa. This is another Rachel Hawkins, so I guess she's quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. So this one is a dual timeline. The main timeline is present day, and it involves Emily, an accomplished writer. She's written 9 published cozy mysteries, so to me that sounds accomplished. But Emily doesn't see herself in that light. She doesn't see herself as good enough or measuring up when it comes to her professional life or relationships. The second timeline involves a group of artists and musicians from the 1970s who rent an Italian villa for the summer. In the current day timeline, Emily has been having some major struggles in her personal life. She's been experiencing a mysterious illness and she doesn't know why. She's been feeling nauseous and dizzy and just very, very sick. Even the doctors can't figure it out. She gets super sick to the point where she can't even work. And this is the magical moment her husband Matt chooses to leave her. He is such a jerk. I cannot stand this guy. He also tries to take her for everything she's worth. He wants all her money and a cut of her earnings from future books, claiming that he helped her develop her work since she thanked him in the acknowledgments. He is the worst. And I'm beginning to suspect he may be the one who's making her sick. Not sure, but more on that later. The main character from the past timeline is Mary, a 19-year-old girl who will one day become an accomplished author. Her stepsister Laura is also staying there, and she will one day go on to become a famous singer. We also have Mary's boyfriend Pierce, who is a struggling but talented musician, and a rock star named Noel Gordon, who rented the villa for them all, along with his drug dealer Johnny. One of them gets brutally murdered by the end of the summer, and that's the main mystery of the book. So in the present day timeline, Emily goes and stays at the very villa where this brutal murder happened. Her best friend Chess invited her. They were best friends growing up, but then they've grown apart over the years. Chess never started out as a writer, but she's written a best-selling self-help book and she's become somewhat of a famous guru. So that kind of contributed to them growing apart, and they've gotten to the point of barely speaking. But Chess invites Emily to stay with her in an Italian villa for the summer so they can both write and reconnect. The tone is pretty light in the present. I wouldn't say it's too scary or creepy, but the past timeline is definitely darker. There's a lot of dark themes. There's people preying on underage children about a child dies. So it's just kind of more sad and depressing in the past timeline. The setting is the same in both timelines. It's set in the beautiful and idyllic Italian villa where the brutal murder happened in the 1970s. I gave this one a 4. I loved the characters and the setting, but the tone was just a little bit sad and depressing. And I loved the storyline. But one thing that bothered me was the ending was just a little bit anticlimactic. I felt like there were a lot of loose ends that just got very quickly tied up in an anticlimactic way. I think I've always said it anticlimactic in the past, or is it anticlimactic? I'm not sure. Okie dokie, Smokies. I'm back to feeling sick again today, so I'm just sitting outside, trying to feel better, trying to soak up some sun. I do need to film today because today's Sunday and I have to work all the rest of the week, so I think that I'm just gonna go ahead and power through and get this one done and get it out to you guys. My last review for this video is The Woman in Cabin 10. This is one of those isolated closed circle mysteries where everyone's a suspect. Lo is our main character and she's a journalist who gets invited on the maiden voyage of a yacht. It's basically like a luxury cruise for the rich elite. There are only 10 cabins, so about 20 guests total would be on any given cruise. Lo is given a press packet, and she's supposed to be networking and writing about her experiences for the magazine she works for. And she's getting ready for cocktails the first night, and she forgot her mascara. So she decides to borrow mascara from the woman next door. Then later, that woman disappears. When Lo starts to look into it and ask around, everyone says that cabin was always empty. No one was staying there. So who was the woman who answered the door? Who was the woman in cabin 10, and what happened to her? The pacing is brisk. I felt engaged and tense and like I was on pins and needles, needing to know what was going to happen almost the entire time. This was one where I did not want to go to bed last night. I wanted to stay up and keep reading. Are those wind chimes annoying? I love them. I think they're super relaxing, but comment and let me know if I need to take them down. I loved Lo. The story was told from her POV, so she's really the only one I identified with. But I didn't really mind that because everyone else on the boat was a suspect. So maybe Ware felt she couldn't reveal too much. By the way, Ruth Ware is one of my favorite new authors. Well, she's not a new author, but she's new to me. My friend gave me The It Girl, and I couldn't get into it. It took me like 60 pages to get into this thing, and then after that, I was completely hooked, and I've loved everything I've read by Ruth Ware since, so new favorite author for me. I absolutely loved this book. It was so good. I loved the fast pace and something was always happening. I loved the main character, Lo. I had a lot of sympathy for her mental health struggles and her desire to not be a victim in life. I loved her fight and tenacity. I have to say, this was the best book I've read in a really long time. This was a 5-star for me. I'd give it more stars if I could. I absolutely loved it. I loved the main character, Lo. I loved the setting on a luxury yacht in the middle of the ocean. I loved that it was an isolated closed circle mystery, so you had to choose among a cast of characters to figure out who done it. It was just 5 stars all the way. Impeccable writing. I love Ruth Ware. Love this book. Highly recommend The Woman in Cabin 10. Thanks for listening to me today, guys. I know this was not the most upbeat video in the world, but I just kind of wanted to share my experience and be authentic with you guys about what I'm going through. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.